Okay, welcome back to Crybaby's Homestead. And today I went outside and I collected these brassica seed pods. And I'm going to start to remove the seeds because the seed material here, the outside is very damaged. And I don't want the seeds to become damaged. So, really sophisticated two-plate system here. Some right brassica on my plate. Brassica question mark, and today is December 3rd, 2022. So I wrote my information on the plate, and I will leave it on the plate until it dries sufficiently enough to put it into a seed packet. So as I'm removing the seeds, I'm going to just separate off the chaff from the seed, and that way we don't have that unnecessary space being taken up. And I will compost the chaff so nothing goes to waste. You do not want to keep material like this in a state, because if there are any insects in here, they will have a chance to emerge and eat your seeds and get into your home. So that's not what we're trying to do. Oh, look, it wants to get away. So seed saving, I think, is very satisfying and definitely keeps your hands busy. When it's dry outside, seed saving is a lot easier. You can, not with this type, but you can winnow some of your seeds to separate them from the chaff. And winnowing at first made me really nervous because I was afraid of losing my seeds. But when you get thousands and thousands of seeds off of a plant, it makes a lot of sense to do it that way. This is a time-consuming process. I am being very frugal. I've heard of seed shortages in the future. Whether that's true or not, I'm going to err on the side of caution and make sure that I collect as much seed as possible, not letting anything go to waste. No regrets, right? This is a good way of having free seed, if you want to think of it that way. It's like you might buy seeds from an expensive vendor, or you might buy them from Dollar Tree or Dollar General. But if you are aware of the life cycle of the plant, whether it's an annual or a biennial plants go to seed in their second year. So if you harvest your entire crop, that means you have to keep buying seeds. But if you collect your seeds, if you let a few of the plants go to the second year and they produce seeds, you shouldn't ever need to buy seeds again, because you can just seed save every year from then on. Now, and you also don't want to plant every seed you have. You want to save some from every year to the next, because sometimes you'll have a bad crop and it might not produce any seeds for you. Or maybe the genetics, things just don't come out right, basically, and you want to have backups. And I messed up and didn't save my ground cherry seeds. I made a video where I showed which varieties I bought from Baker Creek to replace the ones I had. But I messed up, and I either planted too much, lost track of the seeds, I don't know what happened. But I ended up having to replace seeds that I should have had a lifetime supply of. That happens sometimes. Or maybe you might have something cross-pollinate with another plant, with another of the same species, and it, doesn't turn out good. So it's okay. Here we're back. You probably didn't even know we were gone, but It has been 12 days since we first gathered these seeds, the brassica seeds from the greenhouse. Today is the 15th and we gathered the seeds on the 3rd. That's why I like to write the name of the plant on the plate and the date. Then I know how long they've been drying and to see if they're dried enough. So I thought this would be a good point for us to kind of look. We've separated the chaff from the seeds. Now I will be using the chaff in my compost so that nothing goes to waste. And so be back to the soil. But I also wanted to talk about these bags here. So when you're putting your seeds away and if they're really dry, if they've been drying for a while, you can put them into a plastic baggie. There's no problem. But if you're not entirely 100% sure they're really dry, you don't want to heat them because that will kill the seeds. But if you're not sure, 100% sure, then I was thinking putting them into a Ziploc baggie, the little tiny ones, doesn't make a lot of sense because that will keep in any moisture and they will start to rot. In fact, I have done seed swaps with several people who must have been new to seed saving and they sent me rotting seeds. So I'm very careful, and when I seed save, I let mine sit out for longer. But there's always the risk that they're going to fall over or get knocked over and things like that. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to use these little tea bags. So I made a little boo-boo and I overbought. I thought back in September, I was gathering some herbs from my garden and I thought, oh, I'm going to buy all of these tea bags and I'm going to do all these gifts and I'm going to save all this stuff. And then I got busy and forgot about it. And time went by and I didn't do all those projects. And then I thought, what am I going to do with all these tea bags? And obviously I can't drink that much tea. So I was thinking about it and I think it's a good idea to use them as a seed bag. Now, I have all variety of seed bags. Sometimes I print off templates and I make my own. I fill out the information by hand. I printed off my templates where I type in all the information and print those off and then glue them and all that good stuff. That takes a while. But these are already like pre-made little baggies, and all you have to do, as long as they're not tiny, tiny seeds that could come out the top. But I tried these upside down and I tried shaking them. Nothing comes out. So I feel like this would be a good little seed bag for seeds that are a little bit larger. Like these seeds are not as small as a lot of seeds, and I think this would be perfect. I do think this would be safe to go ahead and put into a bag by now because it's been 2 weeks. But to be on the safe side, I'm going to go ahead and put them into this baggie. And these would work really well for larger seeds like fava beans, well, basically any kind of bean, corn, things like that. I wouldn't necessarily use them for like beet and Swiss chard seeds because they're kind of, it'd be kind of like Velcro on this kind of fabric. But I like this because it's breathing. That's one of the reasons why I often will print off my own seed templates and then I will fill it out myself that way instead of using plastic baggies. If you're using the plastic bags, it really needs to be dry. I am all for reusing the materials again and again. So like I will use the same seed bag repeatedly. This, now if I put the date on it, I could cross it off, I guess, right? But there are many ways that we could use these little mesh bags. Another idea is you could use it for potpourri, like a little sachet, fill it up with some potpourri and put it into your drawers. You pull this closed, put it into your drawers. That would be nice. Another thing is, you could put like little cedar chips and then you could tie it to something in your closet, like to a, words are escaping me now, but just you could tie it to something in your closet and then that would help keep moths out of your linen. And another idea, which I tried out and it does work, is you can put your Epsom salts into one of those sachet little baggies. And you could even put like a little bit of like lavender. I have fresh lavender plants in my front yard. So a couple sprigs of lavender in the middle of the baggie and then pour in, and I would just use a spoon to put some of that into the bag. You pull it closed, put a little bow on it, and you could use them in the bath, and the salt is able to get through. And then you just pull the bag out when you're done. And I think that would make a really cute little stocking stuffer, or just like a little gift for somebody. If you had like a little jar full of these, it would be like a little spa in a jar kind of thing, which recently somebody gave me one, a spa in a jar, which I thought was a really cute idea. So you could use tea bags for Epsom salts. And so you'd have like a little spa in a jar, or in a little tea bag. So that's another idea. As I was thinking, I was also imagining, like when I was a child, I was always losing like little pieces of toys, like doll shoes and so forth. And my son has like lots of little pieces of Legos. They're like really tiny pieces. So having something like this where you just put it in and pull it closed and throw it in with the rest of the things, I think would be kind of a neat idea to deal with that. So I'm wondering if you repurpose tea bags like this. I also, after I used the one that with salt in water, I rinsed it out and it would be reusable. So how do you use your seed bags? How do you keep your seeds? I've used, like I said, handmade baggies. I've used tea bags now. I've used those little ones from like Hobby Lobby and craft stores. I've often bought the plastic baggies. They come in various sizes. I did a little price search on those. 100 plastic baggies, 2 by 1.5 inch baggies is $1.62, which is 2 cents. 4 by 6s, 100 for $2.74. That's 3 cents. 3 by 4s, 100 or $2.74. That's 3 cents. 2 by 2s are for 200 of those is $8.98, which is 5 cents. At Office Depot, they also sell like 24, I think it's 24-pound paper. And that's 500 sheets of paper for $12.93. So even just printing off a piece of paper, it would cost 2 cents per page just for the paper, not including the ink and the glue. And you could probably do about 3. The template I use is 3 to a page. So it's still going to cost, even if you're using your own paper and making your own packets. So this is kind of convenient. I like these, not for the tiny seeds, but for, like I said, for the larger ones. And then I want to remind you, you do not want to put seeds that are not dry into plastic. That is the worst thing you can do with a seed, is to put it into plastic if it's not dried up. Okay. So that's for good seed storage. You want to make sure that it can breathe. These mesh bags are breathing. Paper would breathe too. This, I think, is going to breathe even better because it really is porous, because the whole purpose of it is to diffuse tea. So it's definitely diffusing very well. So, the gases and stuff. So you're not going to have your seeds rotting in here. I love that. So, in terms of like storing this, it's not going to stack up as neat as paper would. It's not slippery like plastic though, so that's a perk. So I like this idea. I hope that some of you will like that too. I also wanted to talk about my seed, like this low tech. It's just a storage lid. I love it because it has edges that holds everything in place. So I take this whole tray, and while I'm doing my seed setup, and I don't usually have all this in front of my way because this is just to show like the whole baggy idea and how you could be thrifty and repurpose things. Okay. But what I normally do is I have my seed set up like this, right? And I crack the seeds over and I transfer them. And I actually like put the chaff on the tray. And then when I'm all done, I pick up all the chaff off the tray and put it onto the plate. Otherwise it's hard to tell which has been cracked open and which hasn't. If this could fit 3 plates, that'd even be better. but if it's 2. But this is perfect because you can bring your project inside, um, and especially since it's really cold right now. In the summertime, I like to sit under a tree in my rocker, outside, and I'll do it in the shade, and I love it. But if you're doing this in the middle of wintertime, then having something like this is so, like, everyone has plastic containers. Using the lid and 2 paper plates, you crack your seed pod, drop your seeds, and then keep your chaff separate. And that makes it super easy. This is going to go out to my compost, and these are going to go into seed packets or into like my little new idea right here using the tea bags. Okay, so be thrifty, be frugal, think outside the box, find things that you can use multiple ways. So that's one of the things I like to dual purpose, really being dual purpose and being creative in a way where you can use one thing multiple for different things will be very economical. Now, it is not economical to buy as much as I did. This cost $40 for 4 packages, which was 800 of these. So I'm going to have these like forever. But you know, you live, you learn. So I'll find ways to use them for sure. But I hope this inspires you to, even if this is not an idea that you use, that inspires you to think creatively and to come up with ways that you can save money, that you can, you know, like if I didn't have to buy seed packets because I have those tea bags, I could use this for little spa baggies. Instead of buying gifts, I can make my own. So think of things like that. And don't waste your seed chaff. I might have missed a few seeds. If I did, if I put this if I use this outside and I just kind of sprinkle it around my plants, it will break down. And if there are some seeds in there, they might actually sprout. And I love volunteers. So volunteer plants, it makes my day. It's kind of like a neat surprise. All right, everyone, live long and prosper. May you have a blessed day. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. I need subscribers. Subliminal message here. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Thank you all. Everyone, have a great day. Bye-bye.